welcome back to Fresh Start Budgeting. I am going to try to rationalize in my mind what's happened over the past about 6 weeks. And lucky you get to join me. So let's take a look. All right, so I have been trying to figure out how to really just do a catch-up and a summary of my expenses and the cash flow issues that we've had over the past few weeks. And so I thought the best way for me to do that is just to walk through it with you, and you can point out the errors in my thinking and stuff like that. I've been happy with what I've been able to do with my savings challenges over the past few weeks, but I also know that in my 12-week year, I had a goal that I wanted to put 30% of my income towards debts and savings. Now, I've had to do some reevaluation and just acknowledging the fact that things pop up. I'm still in a bit of a cycle of cash flowing major issues, and so just wanted to take some time, take a look at what's happened, where the money has come from for us to be able to cash flow different things, and how it's kind of impacted our finances through the month of December. And it's just helping me think about, in my reset of my 12-week year, how practical are the goals that I have and what I need to adjust. So that's really what I'm looking at today. I have gone through and I did do tracking over the past several weeks. I didn't share a video, and I've decided that I'm not going to go through each individual item that has happened, just because I think it's best just to kind of move forward and do a summary of it, then really go over each individual thing, because it's past, it's over. What has worked for me is taking a look at each week for expenses and not trying to bunch it into my twice monthly pay periods. So that is something that has worked out really well for me, and something that I'm excited to better implement in my next 12-week year. So what I wanted to do is just kind of summarize out where all the income has come from for us to be able to manage everything, and what all the expense categories were over this period, to see how far off we really were from being able to do the 30% to debts and savings. So if you know that in November, we kind of hit a variety of different crisis points. So our furnace went out. It was then followed by our water tank. I had my daughters both had a birthday, which we had not cash stuffed for. My daughter, we had to put down a large deposit for her dentist payment. What else has happened? Oh, and then we had a vet expense, an unexpected vet expense. It didn't end up costing us a lot, but yeah, it happened as well. So I did take some time and just categorize out everything. So here are the things that we were confronted with that we had to cash flow. So my Christmas, we did go over what I had initially planned. I had, in early November, planned out $1,000 for Christmas plus $500 for Christmas activities. We ended up spending $1,565, and we kind of grouped all of those things together. The dentist, we had, my daughter is going to be getting Invisaligns, and I didn't realize they needed a deposit on the day of, so that deposit has happened. Our water tank, we had to fix 2 items in the water tank to get the names escape me, but the light, starts with a P light. Okay, I had to get that fixed, and so that was $485. Both of my daughters had birthdays, and I had already kind of set up different things for them. One of my daughters got her hair cut, and the other one just had some other things planned, so it was $400 for that. The furnace, it hurts to write this one down. but we were able to get our furnace fixed right before a massive cold snap, which I really appreciated. But it was $3,500. And then the last minute vet experience cost $165. So when you add up all these items that we had to cash flow over a period of about 6 weeks, it was $7,115. So it really pains me to write that number down and know that all that money is gone. But all of these things, well, except for Christmas spending, and birthday could have been reduced as well. All of these things were necessary items. Okay. For my savings, and some of this, my numbers are a little bit off, and it's probably because of this, but in total, the challenges for this was 1,240 in total. So that includes the challenges that I am continuing on with, my daughter's graduation, as well as the 52-week surprise dice challenge thing that's going on. And then we also have mandatory debt payments, and that was a total of $808. Okay, so those are kind of the big categories of things that happened. Some are just part of our everyday, and some of them are not everyday. Okay, so for this, my total income, the various income streams that happened, is that I had $700 from November rollover. So, 700. So it was money that I hadn't yet spent in the pay periods when everything started happening. There was my November income, so it's the disability income that typically goes towards debts and savings. We had to pull that in to deal with all of these things. So that was extra November income that I pulled in. My December income, we had a total of $7,800. And again, that was the total amount, including the disability incomes that I have been trying to specifically earmark for debts and savings. And then the last thing was from that 100 envelope challenge that we had done, I pulled in $2,300 to be able to help support everything else that was going on. All right, so the total income for all of this, when you add it all up, is $13,000. Oh. I have a hard time writing this out. $13,200. To know that that is the amount of money that has gone through my hands is really tough. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do here, I'm just going to total up this all together. So the 7,115, the 1,240, and the 808. So all together, that is, make sure I'm copying the right number over, is $9,163. So in total, with the mandatory debts, the saving challenges that I've done, all the cash flow altogether was $9,163. So this amount doesn't feel so big anymore. Okay, if we take this 13,200, subtract the 9,163, we only have left 4,037, which is still a very big number to me to know that that's the amount of money that we have available to us to deal with our various expenses. It's definitely less though than what my goal has been, when looking at the separation between what I want to use for our expenses and what I want to put towards our debts and savings. That's been to use our employment income, which totals out at about $5,000. So you can see here that we definitely reduced down what we've been spending to be able to make this happen, and it hasn't hurt that much. I can kind of share with you just kind of what the categories of this are. Yeah, let's do that. So just kind of our regular expenses over the period of November 30th through to December 30th. For food, we had spent, and this includes both grocery and eating out, $879. Transit, we didn't have to spend as much on transit this month, was $67. I had some tickets, some bus tickets that I had forgotten about, and so we were able to use that. The dogs, the pet food was $305. Our subscriptions was higher. We had one annual, or I don't think it's even annual, it's a PlayStation subscription that came out automatically, so my subscriptions were $184. And some personal spending, one of my daughters was $250 for her, and for my partner, his personal spending was $500. So his was reduced as well this month. That covers some medical expenses for himself. I want to make sure I captured it all down. In total, with all of this, our total expenses here, and this is where I've probably made a mistake somewhere or missed, including a little bit of income in here, was $4,065. Okay, so you can see those pretty closely match. I've missed $30 somewhere, whether that was just in rollover or I had to pull it out of something else. I'm not totally sure right now, but I won't worry too much about it. Okay, so I guess here is the kind of proof is in the pudding kind of idea of just kind of how we're doing and what's going to be possible for us as we're setting goals going into our next 12-week year. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, we're going to take out this amount that was kind of extra income, going to take it out of the income. I'm also going to take it out of the expense to see like just how much in general we had to put towards these expenses from our regular incomes. Okay, so our regular incomes is that $7,800. Just thinking about the best way to do this. What do I do with my calculator? Okay, so I'm just going to take the $13,200 and subtract the $7,800 from it. That leaves us with $5,400. So that's the extra amount of money that we either took from incomes that we were going to use for other things, rollover, or from our savings challenges. So that's $5,400. And I'm going to take that away from the $9,163. Okay, so that was $3,763 that we had to cash flow to some degree. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Okay, our regular income, $7,800. Okay, the cash flow amount to be able to do what we did was $3,763. So if I divide that now by the 7,800, okay, it's 48%. So that means we put 48% of our income had to go to either cash flowing these items, our mandatory debts, or our savings challenges. 48%. And I have had a goal of 30%. So I'm just trying to keep those things in mind, and we'll just make sure we'll do the same thing on the other side. We had 4,000, 65. And if we divide that by the 7,800 is 52%. So this here was 52%. I'm not going to even break it down into needs and wants at this point. I'm just going to kind of, like, that was the big goal for me, to put 30% of my income towards debts and savings. So no, I don't have 30% at the end of all of this to be able to reflect back and say that we did that, but we were able to figure out how to cash flow 48% of our regular earnings. And so that makes me feel like my goals are not that far off. I think I just need to take some time and redefine them a little bit. I've been careful about not including my mandatory debt in this calculation. And we also we haven't built up the savings for us to deal with all of these other items without cash flowing them. And so that just means we need a little bit of extra time to be able to do that, but we're on the right track. So I need to shift around my goals a little bit, but I'm not giving up on them. I'm not giving up on that idea that this is possible, and we just need to keep chipping away at it. This mandatory debt piece, one of these payments is going to fall off in a few months. And so when that $500 falls off, that's going to be more money that we can put towards other debts or other things. And so I'm not going to stress myself out too much about not being able to clear out all those debts right now. We're maintaining, we're going in the right direction. It may not be as fast as we wanted to, but look at what we've been able to deal with and accomplish over these past few weeks. So I just wanted to share that with you. I didn't really know how it had gone, so it was really helpful for me to sit down and actually record down everything that we had done, where we had found the different funds, and how we had made it happen. And it sets me up for what I'm going to do next. So I appreciate you sticking with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye, guys.